The morning sun was just peeking over the gilded spires of the Grand Central Palace when Rex Maverick arrived, his cameraman trailing close behind. Rex was a force of nature, clad in a sleek, obsidian vest, his name intricately embroidered in gold thread across its band. A frenzy of social media followers surged in his wake, eager to witness the latest spectacle he was about to livestream. "Today we make history," Rex boomed into his mic. "I'm going to show this tin soldier how a real man defends his ground." He gestured dismissively towards Elijah Vance, the Royal City Guard, stoic and unwavering in his duty, just as he had been for years at the palace entrance. Rex began with mild provocations, exaggerated stomps, snide remarks about the uniform, sarcastic salutes. But Elijah didn't even flinch. A crowd gathered, some nervously chuckling, others silently filming. Soon, Rex crossed a line. "So this is how modern slaves operate, huh?" The irony of an African protecting his white master's legacy, he spat, unashamed. A few tourists exchanged uncomfortable glances. Elijah's expression remained perfectly still, not a millimeter shifting. His body was a statue, but his eyes spoke volumes. Noticing Elijah's lack of reaction, Rex ratcheted up the volume, inching closer, invading the invisible bubble of respect. "Are you deaf, or just slow? Go back to where you came from. You're useless here." The words ricocheted through the crowd like whip cracks. A mother covered her child's ears. An elderly man muttered, "Too far." But Rex was fully immersed in his performance. He circled the guard like a predator, then raised his arm and delivered a sharp, open-handed slap across Elijah's cheek. The smack echoed louder than the ensuing silence. Elijah didn't even sigh, but something shifted. He took a single, precise step forward, firm, in line with protocol. That step, clearly indicating by the rules of the Metropolitan Guard that someone had breached a guard's personal space. It was just one step, yet it resonated like thunder. The crowd tensed. Rex stumbled back half a step, surprised. The guard's weapon, its gleaming bayonet, trembled almost imperceptibly with the soldier's pulse. The cameraman, uneasy, lowered his camera. A little girl began to cry. Instead of reading the room, Rex doubled down. "That's it? You'll push me with your little rulebook? Watch closely. This is how you earn respect." Rex tore off his outer shirt, revealing sculpted muscles, and squared up against Elijah as if on a martial arts mat. "Come on, soldier. Or do you prefer coward? Who are you?" The other guard along the perimeter began to exchange uneasy glances. The crowd was no longer filming for amusement, but out of fear of what might erupt. Yet, Elijah remained, lips tightly sealed, jaw clenched, staring straight ahead, as if this humiliation didn't concern him. A civilian security officer subtly approached Rex's cameraman, whispering something. He nodded, lowering his equipment. Meanwhile, Rex advanced until he was nose-to-nose with the guard, mere inches separating them. "You're a disgrace to that uniform. Afraid to fight like a man." He literally spat, a droplet of saliva grazing Elijah's crimson jacket. Some tourists recoiled. Others began filming vertically with a different purpose. If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you think. A woman cried out, "Enough!" But Rex only smirked, slowly raising his fist. He didn't strike yet, holding it suspended before the guard's face like a looming threat. "If you do nothing now, you'll carry this humiliation for your miserable life," Rex murmured. For the first time, Elijah blinked. That simple gesture sent a collective shiver through the crowd. It was then that Captain Sterling, at the end of the line of guards, began to advance rapidly. But Rex didn't see him. He only saw Elijah's unperturbed face, which now held something new in his gaze: determination. Just before Captain Sterling arrived, Rex made a decision he shouldn't have. He clenched his fist and lunged it straight towards the Royal City Guard's face. The punch sliced through the air with fury, aimed directly at Elijah. But before it connected, the guard subtly turned his head, precisely that calculated movement, enough to evade the blow without breaking military posture. The punch went wide, and Rex stumbled forward. In that instant, Captain Sterling arrived, seizing Rex's arm firmly, twisting it with authority. "Stand down immediately," he commanded in a grave voice. But Rex, blinded by public humiliation, yanked free with a jerk and shoved the captain, making him stagger backward. The crowd gasped. He had crossed a dangerous line. He hadn't just assaulted a ceremonial guard, but a superior officer on duty. The other guards abandoned their posts, breaking ceremonial formation, and encircled Rex. People instinctively retreated, creating a ring of pure tension. Elijah remained in his original position, motionless, as the other soldiers surrounded Rex with stern gazes. Rex, panting, appeared confused. The arrogance began to crack on his face. "What now? You all attacking me for a little game?" he shouted, but his voice was no longer confident. Captain Sterling, recovering, approached with clenched fists. "What you just did is a crime. You are in custody." But before they could restrain him, Rex lunged backward and returned to a fighting stance. He wasn't ready to lose yet. With swift movements, he launched a kick towards one of the approaching guards. The impact struck the soldier's leg, who fell with a groan. Chaos erupted. Screams, footsteps, tourists fleeing in every direction, the cameraman trembling behind his lens. But then, something unexpected happened. For the first time, Elijah broke protocol. He took a step forward, then another, until he stood directly in front of Rex. In a firm, deep voice, audible even amidst the shouts, he said, "Enough. This ends now." Rex, sweating, turned his head towards him, filled with rage. "You want to play hero too?" But Elijah didn't respond with words. He stared into Rex's eyes, fearless. Rex launched another blow, this time aimed to the chest, but Elijah blocked it with a swift forearm movement. Then another punch, easily deflected. And then, without losing composure, he executed a clean, military movement that completely disarmed Rex. A simple hold, without excessive violence, bringing him to his knees, arms immobilized. It was brutal, elegant, firm, unequivocal. The crowd erupted in applause. Some filmed with tears in their eyes. Elijah said nothing. He simply held Rex still until Captain Sterling took control. Rex, face pressed to the ground, screamed, "Let me go. This is abuse. I'm a public figure." But no one was listening anymore. As he was handcuffed and led away, civilian authorities arrived. 2 Metropolitan Police officers awaited him on the street. Elijah returned to his position, without fanfare, without words, simply standing straight, looking ahead. Captain Sterling placed a hand on his shoulder for a few seconds. He said nothing, but the gesture was enough. A journalist present approached the cameraman and requested the footage. The images would go viral in a few hours, but not for Rex, but for Elijah, for his calm, his composure, his professionalism in the face of racism and aggression. Later, in the briefing room, Captain Sterling asked to speak with Elijah. "You maintained your composure far beyond what was required. Today, you represented this institution better than few others. Thank you." Elijah, eyes downcast, merely nodded. "I didn't do it for medals, sir. I did it because I didn't want any child leaving here with the idea that hate is fought with hate." The captain nodded slowly, visibly moved. That same evening, the Supreme Commander of the Royal City Guard released an official statement, publicly praising Elijah's conduct. Meanwhile, Rex faced charges for assault, disturbing the public peace, and insubordination. His channel was suspended, brands abandoned him, and for the first time, he faced the real rejection of the society that once applauded his arrogance. That a week later, in front of the palace, a group of children visited the area with their teacher. Elijah was on duty, as always, in impeccable position. A little girl approached shyly, holding a piece of paper with a drawing. It was him in uniform, surrounded by hearts. "Thank you for protecting us, Mr. Guard," the girl whispered. Elijah didn't reply. The rules forbade it. But his eyes moistened just slightly. The silence, this time, spoke more than any words. The crowd maintained their respect. No one interrupted. And so, as the world continued to turn, Elijah remained standing, a symbol of a dignity that even the most violent hatred had failed to break. And so concludes this story. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends. subscribe to our channel, and activate the bell for more fascinating stories. Have a great day.